This or That, a story about choosing. Alexander Levine had trouble making up his mind. Sometimes he wanted both. Sometimes he wanted neither. Sometimes he wanted the only thing he couldn't have. If you don't make up your mind, you get what you get, his mom said, choosing for him. She always picked wrong. If you don't make up your mind, you won't get anything at all, his dad said. That was even worse. Cup or cone? Red or blue? Superheroes or aliens? Alexander couldn't decide. What if he made a mistake? But when he couldn't choose what to wear, he missed the bus. When he had to pick out what to eat, he held up the lunch line. When he had to find a Halloween costume, he waited so long all the good ones were taken. Alexander's mom and dad couldn't understand it. They made decisions every day. His dad was an umpire. He told Alexander to use intuition and act quickly. If he paid attention and trusted his instincts, he'd make the right decision. Alexander tried it. He wore the wrong shoes and had to miss gym. His mom was a judge. She told him to be rational and take his time. If he weighed the facts and considered carefully, he'd make the right decision. Alexander tried it. When he finally decided whether to play kickball or freeze tag, it was time for dinner. When his parents asked him where he wanted to go on their Saturday outing, he made a list and couldn't decide what to cross off. Finally, Alexander had had enough. What he really wanted was a day without decisions, so he asked his mom and dad to take him to their favorite ice cream store. One of everything, he said, no decisions. Alexander ordered a giant sundae, 1 scoop of every flavor, every kind of syrup, every kind of topping. It took up the whole table. He took a bite from one end, fudge twirl with extra sprinkles. It was fantastic. He took one from the other end, rainbow sherbet with peppermint crunch. That was not so good. He took a couple of tastes from the middle. They were okay. He looked at all the gooey toppings, bright sprinkles, and frosty flavors. He couldn't possibly eat them all. Most of the flavors didn't even taste right together. Mocha and mango? Yuck. Peanut butter and pineapple syrup? Ew. Licorice crunch and rum raisin? He didn't need to try that to know it was gross. He began to think that this wasn't a great idea after all. He sat and watched the ice cream melt. Don't you want the rest? His mom asked, and Alexander realized he couldn't eat it all. And then he realized he didn't want to. Not deciding was another kind of decision, and not a good one. So he made a different decision. He knew what flavors he liked. He knew which flavors wouldn't taste right together, and he remembered which flavor he had reached for first. This is the only one I want. He took another taste of fudge twirl. It was cold and sweet and so delicious. It was exactly what he wanted. Now you decide, he said to his mom and dad. Dig in. His dad grabbed a spoon. He picked cherry vanilla right away without hesitation. His mom took a tiny taste of all the flavors, even rum raisin. She considered carefully, then decided on mint chocolate chip. They ate what they wanted, then stopped. It was the best family outing ever. After that, Alexander had a little less trouble making decisions. He considered what he knew, then picked. He was not as deliberate as his mother, not as quick as his father, but somewhere in between. And when his decisions were mistakes, the next time he made a different choice. He made the bus on time, usually. He was the first to check out his library book, sometimes. He didn't hold up the lunch line. Once he picked the tuna noodle casserole instead of pizza, but he never made that choice again. Then one day his mom and dad took him to the ice cream store for a special treat. Alexander knew just what to choose, fudge twirl extra sprinkles. His mom licked her cone. Then she smiled and told Alexander she was having a baby. "Are you excited for a baby brother or a baby sister?" his dad asked. Alexander decided right away. "Brother," he said firmly. But Alexander found out you can't choose everything, and sometimes you get what you get. And having a baby sister turned out okay too.